What's up, everybody? I'm making this video to inform any of my subscribers who this may be applicable to. That is, if you have these accounts, which I'll go over in a moment here. I want to mention that, yeah, I've created some new alt-tech, as they're calling it in the media, alt-tech accounts, in the face of increasing clampdowns and abuse of power by companies like, Google, who owns YouTube. So, not to kind of repeat myself and say YouTube, but yeah, Google, YouTube, and Twitter, which I've made several videos about this in the past, actually, concerning both of these entities, or all three of these entities, depending on four, if you include Facebook, depending on how much you want to like fractionate this. So maybe there's some people listening to this that don't know about these ever-evolving events. So this is happening for some time now, which is why I mentioned that I've created many videos over the past, 3 years, 4 years. This is not new, actually, but it's just ramping up. And it's just escalating at such an alarming rate now that, yeah, it's cause for red flags to go up. And it's cause for an exodus off of these sites, because possibly, at least setting up a safety net, because many of the major YouTube creators, they're the canary in the coal mine, right? When you have big name creators starting to migrate away from YouTube, or at least diversify, as I was sort of alluding to, which is what I think is in most people's best interest right now, is to diversify, because YouTube in particular has finally reached a point where they've made too many bad executive decisions in too short of a time span, where it's causing some at least minor destabilizations of the platform. Now, I don't know what political affiliation most of my subscribers are, but I would guess, like most of the population at large, they're likely to range from apolitical, which is not political at all, to centrist in their orientation, with a sprinkling of, like, fringier folks at the extreme ends of the spectrum. Like, I know that because I've produced videos. It's just, I know there are people who are subscribed to me who are a bit fringy. That's fine. That's fine. I welcome everybody. But the reason why I mention this is because I'm attempting to preface what most have rightly assumed to be the force behind all of these new changes, and that is an ideological force. So the identity politics crowd have, and we know this for a while now, have infiltrated the highest echelons of Silicon Valley. And however well-meaning they are, because no one thinks of themselves as the enemy or the greatest evil. Everyone thinks the road to hell is paved with good intentions, essentially. But the point is that they're using their monopoly to dictate morality, and this is causing a huge upset creatively, culturally, etc. Now, that said, that's perfectly fine in some ways for Google, YouTube as a private entity to enact whatever policy changes they feel best suits their needs, or the needs of their company, but the terms of service are so opaque that they leave a lot of YouTubers uncertain of whether or not their content will be welcome on the platform, myself included. So although I'm a small-timer, I enjoy producing videos, like I think anybody who makes videos, even if they're like stupid ones. People like creating things. This is inherent to the human beast. And, so I, like everyone else, enjoy producing things, and in particular, producing videos. And my interests, as, any subscriber of mine will know, are very wide and varied, as my content would attest to. So this affects me too, because who knows what the wrong thing will be. Like, I'm sure there are many videos that are perfectly fine. But, yeah, when I go through my videos, and, I make a couple bucks through monetization a month, like, maybe anywhere between 50 and 80. It's like nothing you can live on. But the point is, but there are some people who are living on their YouTube money. And the point is that, yeah, this is a way of de-incentivizing certain ways of thinking, certain viewpoints. We all know this. This is a form of economic censorship. And I can see, yeah, based on, like, because I've got so many different subject matters, all that are all over the place, ranging from, vitamins and supplements to gardening to politics to how-to videos, the different things regarding computer software, and the only things that get zapped with the unmonetization is anything of a political nature and anything of a particular political nature. So yeah, the trends are pretty clear, And I've got, approaching 200 videos, so I can see the pattern that is emerging there. I don't need to be a mathematician or a statistician to know this. So anyway, to the crux of this particular video, since I hate to wax verbose any longer, I'm just going to share my new account links for any of my subscribers who value what I produce, or anyone who's not aware, as bipolar as my content is, or tends to be, or anyone who's not aware of what VidMe is, or Gab, or even Dailymotion if you've got a Dailymotion. Like, I think most people know what that is, but VidMe seems to be the one that's growing as far as video streaming. So if you already have a VidMe account, or maybe you're interested in creating an account, or, for all I know, like I said, this might be the first time that you're hearing about any of these sites. So, this could be sort of an awakening for you. VidMe is essentially a YouTube-alike video streaming website. They say they're the most creator-friendly video site, and I'm thinking in a bid to capture on some of the steam that's hemorrhaging from YouTube. This is why they're selling themselves this way. Or maybe they really mean it, and it's just coincidental. I don't know, but it seems to be working because creators such as Channel Awesome are on there, which most people... they're most well known for the Nostalgia Critic series. I think a lot of people probably know of Nostalgia Critic. The Amazing Atheist is also on there. He's a bit of a fringier character. He runs the obscure right-wing podcast, Drunken Peasants. I'm joking, of course, which is how I heard about it through him. And some of the alt or underground media personalities, like Styx Hexenhammer 666 and Stefan Molyneux, who, not that I'm personally endorsing any of their views, I'm bringing up their names because those are like sort of bigger name individuals who have amassed a huge audience, and so presumably wherever they go, a large chunk of their followers are sure to go with them. So yeah, there's VidMe, and another site which many may have heard of recently because they've been tar and feathered as Nazis in the mainstream media is Gab. And their claim is that they're dedicated to free speech. And now we shall see in time, should they succeed as a social media, like sort of megalith at some point, as a platform, as they grow, if they do become successful, because that changes everything. That changes the entire dynamic. Because if that is indeed the case, we've seen this before with Google, don't be evil. That was their slogan, and now look what they've become. So, it's perfectly in line with the market that the larger a company gets, the looser they seem to get with their ethics. And that's just to stay competitive. This is just the dynamic of free markets. Not that the American free market is free, but it tends more towards free than regulated, believe it or not. And people can argue with me, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But for the time being, it's interesting for sure, Gab and all the things that are happening, VidMe and all these things. It's very interesting to see how things are unfolding. And all these websites are really interesting because they contain mostly elements that we're familiar with, like I said, YouTube and Twitter. So people are trying to steal their thunder because, yeah, they created something that is very enjoyable and useful. And so to the point of Chinese knockoff territory is basically what I'm driving at. These new, this alt-tech movement, that's fine. I don't care. I really don't care. As long as the new powers that emerge to challenge the hegemony of Google, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, etc., allow for enough competition that it puts checks and balances on those monolithic monstrosities that that they've become. I don't really care what's going on as long as we get that. And whoever else is in the unholy coalition of censorship, we need to challenge them too.